What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I got part 2 of the Carolina Tour offensive ebook, and if you didn't watch the first ebook video that I posted the other day, I'm gonna need you guys to go watch it. I know it's super long, but trust me, if you want to know everything about this offense and every single little detail, you need to go watch it, man. I mean, I know it's like 45 minutes long, and I'm sorry for that, but I didn't anticipate that video to be that long originally, but I'm gonna do my best to narrow it down to 30 minutes or less in this video, to kind of make it not be as long. So go check that video out, and without further ado, we're going to get into it. If you guys are new, subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends, and all that good stuff. So in last video we went over what to do and how to run gun bunch offset. So if you want to watch the gun bunch offset portion of this ebook, which is part 1, that's what I went over in the last video. So that video has everything bunch offset related, all the route combos that I use, all the cover 3 beaters, cover 2 beaters, all the man beaters, all that stuff. It's in that last video. So if you're looking for bunch offset, go watch the last video. But in this video, we're going to show you, we're going to really dive into the aspect of being able to audible down to under center formations like weak close flex, I form close, and single back bunch base. So we might not get into too much of the passing aspect of I form close and single back bunch base. We're probably going to save that for part 3, but what I am going to start this video off with is by showing you all of the runs. Okay, so we're going to go over our audibles once again for bunch offset and I form close. And I form close, you want to make sure you have halfback lead dive, which is the play in the middle. You want to make sure you have halfback stretch at the second slot, which is this run right here in the middle of your screen. And for your shot play, you want to make sure you have PA post shot in that bottom slot right there, which is your play at the top of the screen. So like I said, we're not going to get into I form close passing or single back bunch base passing until part 3. So I don't want to confuse anybody, and I also don't want to make this video almost an hour long like the last one. I feel like that's the reason my views are kind of hurting a little bit, is just because that video is so gosh darn long. So like I said in the beginning, we're going to do our best to make this one 30 minutes or less. So the reason I don't change any audibles in weak close flex or single back bunch base is because the audibles are already good stock. You have FL drive and PAN for that one. I'll go over those plays in the next breakdown. And then in weak close flex, that's what we're going to get into in this video. Spacing, bench flat, and PA boot shot are probably the 3 best passing plays in that formation anyway. So it helps that the passing plays are already there. It just saves you some time at the beginning of the game when you're making all those audibles. So, and then with bunch offset, like I said, you want double post and flood. Those are the only 2 plays you want to change. And then something that's very, very key, this is the key to the whole thing. In your substitutions, you want to make sure you have a pass catching / elusive running back, whichever one you have. Raheem Mostert and Mutt, that's Raheem Mostert for me. If you have a Christian McCaffrey, or in this case LaShawn McCoy, that is who you want to use there. That is going to enable you to be able to audible down to these under center formations and be able to take advantage of stuff like that, of the running and stuff like that. So because your running back is also eligible to play fullback, that is what makes this thing possible. So yeah, that's the key adjustment to making this whole thing work. And of course, with your abilities on offense, you want hot route master or set feet lead. You want hot route master, set feet lead, or gunslinger on your quarterback. And then you also want to have running back apprentice on your running back, as well as having slot apprentice on your slot wide receiver, and tight end apprentice on your tight end. Now I have OJ Howard in here as opposed to Gronkowski because he's the fastest tight end that they have, just so he can get open quicker, you know. So, and also another thing, I know it sounds like I'm all over the place again, but you want to come out and bunch offset every time. You can't come out in weak close flex, I form close, or single back bunch base and expect to be able to audible up to bunch. It doesn't let you do that. No matter if you substitute the right players in the under center formations, it still will not let you. So, you know, just like in the Las Vegas tour, you have to come out and trips tight end every time, as opposed to, it's the same with this. You have to come out and bunch offset every time. And if you want to audible back up after that, you just hit cancel play and then it'll take you back up. So all this will make sense when I break it down. So we're just going to click a random play for bunch offset. Just go double post. And then I want to go over the running first. So like I said, I had to stop my cat from scratching on my door. So sorry about that. I'm going to go over the running aspect of this. I'm gonna cycle through, audible down through all the formations that we just talked about and just go over the running plays so that you guys can see just how powerful this formation can be. And I know I'm going to be running against dime, but I just want to give you the idea of what the mindset that people have on defense. When they see you come out and bunch offset, they're automatically thinking you're going to pass the ball. So their defense may be dime or dollar, where they only have 3 down linemen. So for instance, I know a lot of people that like to run 3 one-step ahead corners. They'll come out and to make their man coverage insane, they'll come out and cover 1 Robert press out of dollar. And then, you know, they're going to press you, they're going to shade over top, and they're going to be cute and put these guys in, put these safeties in curl flats like that, and they're going to be like, yeah, man, I'm about to box this guy. And then all you have to do is just be like, hey, bro, I'm going to audible down. So we're going to press square to go to our audibles. And because we have that running back out wide, okay, because we have that running back lined up out wide at wide receiver, he is eligible to play fullback. So all we have to do, if we see a light box like this, is just go to our audibles and then filter over. We can audible to halfback dive and weak close flex. We can audible to halfback stretch or halfback lead dive and I form close, or we can audible to the halfback slash and a single back bunch base. So you have all of this at your disposal just by making that one simple substitution, by putting your wide receiver lining him up at wide receiver. So here we're going to go to weak close flex, audible down to halfback dive, and your opponent's going to be in shock. He's going to be like, whoa, you know, how did you just do that? And then you just run dive down his throat, pause, okay? And most of the time you're going to get big, really big gains out of this, okay? And you think I'm joking, okay? But I'm not, okay? You've seen in my weekend league recaps where I've literally ran for 50, 60 yards, 70-yard touchdowns with Reggie Bush just because my opponent is stubborn enough to stay in dollar. So that's what we do. We audible down to halfback dive, and then we just run dive down their throat until they get out of it. And a good tip for running is, I'm sure you guys probably know this already, is if you wait and don't hold turbo or the accelerator until you get past the line of scrimmage, it lets your blocks set up even better. So, and sometimes those people that play dollar, the way that they try to get around this is they'll put inside stuff on their defensive tackle, right? But all you have to do is hit L1 down on the right stick and double team the defensive tackle, and that negates the inside stuff, and it makes your blocking even more insane. So not only can we run dive out of weak close flex, we can also audible down to single back bunch base like this and run the halfback slash. Now this is the run I probably go to the least often just because it's not the best. I mean, you see we're still getting 5-10 yards a pop with it, but it's just not something I go to very often just because it's probably single back bunch base is only it's like my last resort. So the other formation we can audible to is I form close. I'll audible down to I form close, you know, double team the defensive tackle if they have inside stuff, and just run dive down their throat out of I form. You can do that, and then you could also audible down to run stretch. So you run stretch. Now stretch isn't as good as the power O run this year, but it's still very good against light boxes as long as you have good stick. You know, pause. You can make some dudes miss, do the little stop and go thing. You could even you audible to stretch. Sometimes what I like to do is flip it to the weak side. That way, like, because if you have a right-handed QB, the handoff is a lot quicker. You see, you know, we're just getting 5-10 yards a pop every time. So if someone's coming out in dollar, just do this. Okay, audible down, give him all these different looks, and then just run dive and stretch. Okay, just run the ball until he gets out of it, and he will. Okay, if he's a smart opponent, he'll get out of it. But you got some people that are stubborn and will sit in it all game. And so if that's the case, you know, just keep audibling down, run the ball down his throat, and then just win the game like that. Okay, don't make it any harder than you have to. Okay, so like what I mean by that is, like, you know, they press shade over top, they put their dudes in they do press man to man and put curl flats on sidelines. This really good pass defense if you know that your opponent's going to pass, and you can still pass on this. I mean, if he finds a way to box your runs somehow, then you could still pass on him out of bunch offset. If you have route tech on your receivers, or just say your receivers hit all the route running thresholds, and they're fast. Like, you know, I have Tyreek Hill, Terry McLaurin, and Chad Johnson. So, you know, those are probably the 3 best receivers in the game. And Mutt. But in the case of the Buccaneers here, it's better if we just audible down and run the ball, because I mean, he's given us the A gap all day long, or A and B gap. He's giving it to us all day long. And look there. Okay, we could have a touchdown. So, you know, I know I kind of spent too much time on the running part, but just listen to me and do what I say. I mean, I hate to sound smart like that, but it really is a really good strategy to do that. So without further ado, I'm going to actually hop back in big nickel over G, and then we're going to go over the weak close flex passing. So going to do that. Going to hop into big nickel over G. And don't get me wrong, you can still run the ball. If you just need like a yard or two, you can audible down and run the ball on like normal defenses like that too. You know, they're just not guaranteed the same success. So of course the key to this working, I can't say this enough, is you gotta come out and bunch offset every time. So that's gonna enable you to audible down. You can't start out in under center and audible back up. Okay, it just won't let you. So enough on that. I know I'm a little all over the place, but now, like, say you want to switch it up, right? We're going to audible down to weak close flex, and we're going to go over spacing in the mini route combinations you could do out of that. I think I only have 2 or 3 setups I do, or maybe just 2. So with spacing, your running back turns into your fullback. You see McCoy, who was originally lined up out wide, is now lined up at fullback running a flat route. And keep in mind that if you're running gunslinger on your QB, and you have route apprentice on your tight end, running back, and slot receiver, your slot receiver is going to go to your outside. But that doesn't mean he's lined up outside though, because he's still inside the numbers, so he's still considered in the slot. So you could still give him all those extra hot routes. So of course I don't leave the play just like this. You could do the first setup that I like to do is I'm going to go over the adjustments from left to right. I like to put my slot receiver on a corner route like this, and then I can put circle on a streak, and that way you have a flood concept on the left side. And then I like to put my tight end on a corner route, and then you have that swing route already there from R1 Ronald Jones. So you just created a high-low read on both sides of the field with this. Okay. And again, the reason I'm able to make all these hot routes is because I have slot apprentice on square. I have, running back apprentice and tight end apprentice. So that's how we're able to do this. Okay, and then from there you just make a read, right? If your running back's open, just throw to him. You're getting like, that's almost 15 yards that you got right there. So it's the same concepts that you're running out of bunch, except you are audibling down to a whole different formation and running the same concepts, you know. And like I said, it's the same thing on the right. If the running back's open, you just check it down and then get your, 10 yards, 5-10 yards, just like that. And then, of course, if they're shading underneath, you want to audible down once again to spacing. Do the exact same setup. Square on a corner, circle on a streak, and your tight end on a corner. And then obviously your flats are going to be clamped, but your corner routes are gonna be wide open. So, you can low pass, whatever you want to do. You could try to rack it and get some extra yards. Like I said, we're shaded underneath. Once again, gonna audible down to spacing, put square on a corner route, circle on a streak, and our tight end on a corner route, and then you could low ball to the tight end like that and just get a nice safe catch. So and then the other route concept you can do with spacing is you can put square on a streak, right? And again, I'm going over adjustments from left to right. You can put square on a streak, you can put circle on a slant, right? And you can put your tight end on a crossing route with tight end apprentice, okay? So you're creating the same high-low read on the left and the right. It's just out of a different set of routes. Okay, so the flat route by your fullback / running back and the tight end crosser with the streak for the clear out, that is your left side flood concept, and then the slant and the swing route is your right side flood concept. So like I said, you just make a read. If the flats are open, you just throw to the flats. I threw it a little early there, but it really doesn't matter. And then, like I said, we're going to audible over to weak close, streak square, slant circle, put your tight end on a crosser. And then you could throw to the swing route if it's open, just like that. Get your 5 to 10 yards. And then, as usual, we're going to shade underneath this time. And we're going to audible down to spacing and create the same little route concept. Streak square, slant circle, put your tight end on a crosser. And then now we're going to look for the crosser. Okay, tight end on a crosser. You got to wait for him to get by that hook curl, and then you're just easy. Now, for some reason, Tom Brady missed the pass, so we're going to run that again just so you can see how consistent it is, I guess. Streak square, slant circle, tight end on a crosser. See, that's how fast I was able to do that. Okay, like I said, if you go over the adjustments from left to right, very easy to make this route concept. So tight end on a crosser, boom, we hit him this time, and then we get our 15 to 25 yards like that. So again, we're going to throw the slant this time, audible to weak close, streak square, slant circle, tight end on a crosser. And now, since we're shading underneath, our flat routes are going to be covered, but our crossing route and our slant will get open. You gotta wait for the slant to pass that hook curl, and you're all good. So that is spacing and the two route combinations and setups you could do out of that. So now we're gonna go over to bench flat. Now bench flat is essentially the same exact thing, except only thing I do is I put square on a flat. And the reason I go to bench flat more often than spacing is because if I need to quick snap him or something like that, I only have to audible over and make one hot route adjustment, and then I have my high-low read set. Okay, and then our fullback is blocking this time, but since we put square on that flat route, we could still make our reads in the flats and throw him. That way you're just giving your opponent a different look. Like I said, bench flat, and while your people are getting set, you can go ahead and make that audible, and that way you can just quick hike him, and then he doesn't have time to make his defensive adjustments. Okay, And like I said, now we're going to shade underneath, and then we're going to audible over to bench flat, put X on a flat route while everybody is still going over and getting set, and then you could just quick snap him, low ball the corner route. And see, you're noticing we're running the same routes technically, but there's different people running those routes. Okay, so if you can understand what I'm getting at here, like I said, we're running the same high-low concepts as we did with the spacing play, except instead of our fullback running the flat on the left side, our outer receiver is running the flat route, and instead of square running the corner route, it's circle. So your opponent is going to get thrown off by this because he's like, well, he's running the same routes, but these receivers, the different receivers that are running those routes. You know what I'm saying? If I'm confusing anybody, let me know. Okay, but like I said, you can low ball that if they're playing underneath. And then the final passing play that we're going to go over in weak close flex before we end the video is PA boot shot. Now, a PA boot shot, it's really good, but it's better against cover 2, and I think you guys can see why, because that corner route by the tight end is really, really deep, and it's not as sharp cutting. So just like the Z spot play and bunch, it's the same kind of concept, but the setup that we're gonna do is you can leave the play action, it doesn't matter. I mean, I would take out the play action, but if you want to leave in play action just to confuse your opponent, you can. I'm gonna cancel it, so I'm gonna hit R1 to cancel play action. And so really the only thing that I do, let me go ahead and switch to Tampa 2 so that you guys can understand this and why this works. So we're in Tampa 2, right? And we're in this PA boot shot play. Only thing that I do is I cancel play action, I put a square on a streak, and then I'm gonna motion him over, and so that it clears out that safety over there on the right. So we don't let him get set, we hike the ball, and then you're going to see that the tight end, we had to throw it early because we were getting pressured, but I'll slide protect and make the proper adjustments so that you can see how this route, this glitchy route can develop down the field. So we're in cover 2, we're going to audible down to weak close flex, PA boot shot, we're going to put square on a streak, and we're going to cancel play action, and then we're going to slide protect in that direction if it'll let me. I might have to just double team that guy. So after we do that, we're going to motion over square, and then we're going to wait for that tight end to clear over here. You see, you gotta wait a little bit, but that corner out by the tight end is just money against cover 2. So I'll show it to you one more time, and you can, if you don't feel good about it, if you get pressured, you can always, because they're not going to shade underneath in Tampa 2, they're just not. So audible to PA boot shot, streak square, and then cancel play action, double team that guy so that we have time, and then we're going to motion over square, and we're going to throw the corner out once again. So we let him get set, which is okay. I mean, I hiked it late, so it's on me. But you see that tight end just clears out there. And you could get, sometimes, if your tight end is fast enough, like O.J. Howard, you get a one-play touchdown off of that. So that's the setup for cover 2. Now for cover 3, it's the exact same, except with one little tweak, okay? So we're audibling to PA boot shot. We're going to cancel play action, and then we're going to streak square. But instead of leaving, if you know it's cover 3, if you see that single high safety, you don't want to leave Howard on that corner route because that's only for Tampa 2. You just want to change him with tight end apprentice. You want to put him on a regular corner route. And you could smart route it to make it deeper, whatever you want. But I'll just put him on a regular corner route. And then we're going to do the same motion, okay? But we're just going to play high-low with him on the right. We're going to read, since he's shading underneath, I know the defense is shaded underneath, you just hit your fullback coming out here, okay? And that is because he's playing back and he's not playing underneath, that's why that's open. So, and if he's shading underneath like this, then you just audible down once again, you cancel play action, put square on a streak, then you put your tight end on that corner route with tight end apprentice, and then you motion over square just like this. If he's playing underneath, you can hit the tight end, right? Low ball, or you could rack it, try to get extra yards. And this next pass is going to be really risky, but whether he's shedding underneath or not, you can audible over to PA boot shot, cancel play action, streak, square, put your tight end on a corner. You could also do the same thing, same look where you motion him over, but you can, that post by Brown, by circle, sometimes you can fit that in to a tight window if you have gunslinger or set feet lead. You could try that sometimes. It's just according to how good his defense is. I mean, like I said, that's a risky pass, so his user might be over there. So anyways, that is part 2. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. I'm not sure how long this video is. I hope it's not too long, maybe at least 30 minutes or so, but if it's longer, I'm really sorry. So I just really want to go in depth, tell you everything that you need to know and all that good stuff. So in part 3, we're going to be going over I form close and a single back bunch base, which shouldn't be too long because I went over the bulk of the ebook in part 1 with bunch offset. So without further ado, if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like down below and subscribe if you're new. It really helped me out, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next breakdown. Peace.